Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. Liverpool have just lost 2-0 to Hull today, which puts an end to their Premier League title hopes and leaves their position in the top four in serious doubt. So I think we can all agree that this was Liverpool's worst performance of the season so far, and I'm going to start with the first goal when breaking down what exactly went wrong for Liverpool, because there were so many issues and so many players who just weren't doing their jobs for that first goal, and that's what led to it and what ultimately led to the loss for Liverpool today. And starting off, there are three defenders for Liverpool who are meant to be playing zonal marking in the 6-yard box. And zonal marking is like communism in the sense that the reason it's got such a bad reputation is because it's never been done properly. And Liverpool were a testament to that today, because as soon as the ball came in from the corner and it wasn't heading towards that 6-yard box, all three of them left their posts and went chasing after the ball. And none of them actually got anywhere near the ball, and all this did was meant that when the Hull striker won the knockdown and put the ball into the 6-yard box, there was no one marking the Hull striker who put pressure on Mignolet, and no one marking the Hull player who put the ball away for the opening goal. Obviously Mignolet was also very incredibly awful for that first goal, because it's a pretty fundamental rule as a goalkeeper that if you get two hands on the ball, you should keep two hands on the ball. And I'm going to come back to Mignolet later, because I think this game proved that his future at Liverpool is also in serious doubt. And Hull showed from that first goal just how easy it is to exploit Liverpool from set pieces now, because it's second balls that really get us, because I don't think Abel Hernandez, who I think is the player who won the knockdown, was actually aiming for goal. I think he deliberately headed the ball down into that turf because he knew that as soon as you get that second ball and you cause a bit of chaos and disruption in the box, Liverpool's defence just goes completely AWOL. And that's exactly what happened, because all of those defenders who were meant to be zonal marking went missing, the goalkeeper didn't assert himself properly, and Hull ended up with an easy chance for themselves. On to the second goal, it's a bit, you can't really blame the players as much for this one, because we did have pretty much all of our outfield players in the Hull half for most of the second half, understandably, because we did need an equaliser, and really, strictly speaking, we needed 3 points from that game. But Mignolet was even worse for that second goal, to be honest, because earlier on in the game there was a moment when Hull were through on goal and he came out of his goal, he committed, he got to the ball and he got it and stopped them from getting a goal from a one-on-one situation. The exact same thing happened for the second goal, only instead of committing, he came halfway out and then just stood there and waited and didn't make his mind up. Also, when you're in that position as a goalkeeper, that far away from your goal, you need to be getting into a low block to stop the ball from going through your legs, which Mignolet doesn't do. And if I'm honest, I don't really think he has a future at Liverpool. And when you think about it, Karius has actually only made one proper mistake for Liverpool since he's been here, and Mignolet has already made multiple mistakes this season, not to mention all the mistakes that he made in his first 3 years at Liverpool. And to be honest, I think in the summer, Mignolet's not going to be happy being a long-term number 2 for Liverpool. He's not going to be happy being back up to Karius. So I think if Klopp does have faith in Karius and wants him to be his first choice goalkeeper from next season onwards, then bring in a backup keeper, maybe someone who's a bit older with experience or a bit younger who can come through the ranks and even succeed Karius. Or if he's not happy with Karius and doesn't feel confident having him as the first choice, then bring in a more experienced goalkeeper who is a bit more higher standard, maybe one with Premier League experience, just so that Karius has more time to ease him into the role. But Mignolet's just been so consistently poor for Liverpool, and he's had ups and he's had downs, and he's shown that he can perform well for Liverpool, but I don't think he has the mentality to do it consistently. Other players like Lucas, to be honest, he's been a great servant to Liverpool. He is a good player, but he simply can't cut it at the club anymore, especially at that centre-back role. He's all right for cup games, but they're really games when you want to be blooding youngsters, and he's simply not good enough for the Premier League at the moment. Most of the other players were pretty awful as well. James Milner just wasn't finishing the chances that he was getting. I think it demonstrated how poor his performance was when he actually had an argument with Jurgen Klopp about whether or not he should have taken a shot when he got into a position in the box. Emre Can justified why so many people were questioning whether he should be playing in that game, because he was awful, and I think we would have benefited from having Gini Wijnaldum on instead. Felipe Coutinho had a strangely off day. Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come and this is just a blip and he will get back to his usual form. But Liverpool were pretty awful today, and I think the title race is pretty much over for us, because it's not just the fact that there's that 13-point gap. It's the fact that in the form Liverpool are in, no matter what happens with Chelsea and the other teams in front of us at the moment and the teams below us who are hitting good form like Manchester City, I don't think Liverpool have the time or the ability to recover and build a title challenge this season. So what's important is, I think, making sure we do secure a top 4 spot, because that is in doubt at the moment. And I think given the brilliant start we had to the season, it would be hugely disappointing not to get that top 4 spot this season. And just make sure that this season doesn't continue the way it's going, because there are serious problems at Liverpool and they do need addressing. But thankfully, I think, because earlier on the season, it wasn't a fluke for Liverpool, because we could see what was working so well for them. And now that they're doing so poorly, it's sort of, there's a question now of why they're doing so badly. And I think that proves that hopefully this will just be a blip, and hopefully we will get over these issues, because we're not playing like we expect the players to, and like we know the players can play, because we know that they're better than this and we know that they can play better as a team. So hopefully we'll see more of that going forward into the season.